I wish I said how many of you have the POPxo app, so many hands are down. It's a personal pain point right now. Okay. How many of you have more than 1,000 followers on Instagram? And men as well, by the way. Men can also be part of POPxo, right? So 1,000, one hand, party, looking, no? One hand there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's a boy at the back as well. Nice. And there's a boy at the back. 7. Okay, so our base is if you have 1,000 plus followers on Instagram, you can be the POPxo influencer and you will make money. So anyone who has 1,000 plus and they are eligible for a campaign, we start paying you out. When brands come to us and say कि हमें 1,000 Instagrams करानी है, you guys get a message on POPxo saying you are eligible. Do this Instagram and you get paid. How many of you are close to 1,000 Instagram followers? How close are you? Okay. Ritesh, how many do you have? Instagram followers?
I have no idea.
Terrible, no? Very good.
I will get 0.
So guys, look, personal branding is something that you guys want to kind of have a seat here, guys. Personal branding is something that I'm very passionate about. A lot of what I've done or I've been able to do is because I was able to brand myself in a certain way. How do you brand yourself? You have a bunch of things. You have Facebook. I will not tell you the number of times I have not even interviewed a candidate because I saw random things on their Facebook page. If anyone that I'm going to interview, I will go and check out all the social media profiles. If suddenly I see a long slew of public photos that I can access on a public profile that are doing stuff that I don't want my employees to talk to you. Same for Instagram. If I'm talking to anyone for POPxo, I will look at their Instagram page to see how engaged are they on Instagram or not, is it a public profile or not. If you're looking to interview in a media company like ours, and you're not active on social media, that's a big check mark against you. How many of you are female, anyone wants to be in media? Writer, social media, actor, anything in media. If you guys want to do this, if you guys are not active on social media, if you guys are not creating your profile on social media in a way that anyone who wants to hire you will like, you're not going to get a job these days. Our entire team looks at social media of everyone that we hire. Because what is social media? It's your way of telling the world who you are. You know, show me any of your Instagram pages, I'll get a really good idea about what is your best perception of yourself. Right? So if I see an Instagram page of a person or a girl or a boy with lots of friends, and I know that most important in their lives is the people, their friends, right? I see some pages with lots of selfies in them. And fantastic if you're a blogger and whatever, but it just still tells you that your own perception of yourself is the most important thing. That's the face that you're presenting to the world. So using social media to present the face that you want to the world intelligently is key. A lot of it happens by mistake, right? So I do something called a social media audit once in a while on myself. And I see, look, if I was a stranger looking at my feed, what would this stranger think of me? And is that the view that I want to present to the world? And then I edit my profiles to present the view I want to do to the world, right? Look at LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is extremely important. I assume you all are on LinkedIn. Yes? How many? Okay. Which are you guys first, second, third years? First years? Okay. Regardless of what you are, your LinkedIn profile is in your CV. If my recruiter is sending me a profile of someone to hire, they send me the LinkedIn profile. And how good or bad that profile is basically going to either get you the interview or not. And you guys need to be working on your LinkedIn profiles even now, right? And the more you work on it, the better it gets. It should be up to date. It should kind of reflect what is the last thing that you did. I was part of Samus is something that matters right now. So you should be kind of working on that. So the collection of LinkedIn, of Instagram, or Facebook basically becomes your social identity. And that's what matters to the world. And whoever thinks that it is private, that my Instagram is for me, as long as it's a closed Instagram, fine. If it's a public Instagram, your Instagram is not for you. Whoever thinks that Facebook is only for you and your friends, it is not. Unless you have really strong privacy controls, the whole world is saying what you're saying. And they're forming judgments about it. All of us judge our friends' feeds by what happens on it. We do it unconsciously, we do it without meaning to, but our judgment of the person gets formed, right? So how can you use social media to put your best foot forward is something you guys should be thinking about. There's lots of great stories out there, great information out there if you go search for it. But using social media wisely, you know, even if you want to be a doctor or if you want to be an accountant or whatever it is, your LinkedIn page is social media and that's what matters, right? And please don't have dirty photographs of you getting drunk and falling out on public Facebook. I've seen them and I haven't hired people because of that. It really matters, right? So that's one of the key messages that I want to leave with you guys. And then how do you use it to your own advantage? I'll give you an example. So I was just telling my colleagues when I was coming down. So I have to do a lot of fundraising for my startup, right? Fundraising basically means that you go and meet a bunch of people, 100 of them will say no to you and one will say yes. So I've become very good at kind of hearing the word no from people. But then I've realized that if I'm doing fundraising and suddenly on my social media, which is all public by the way, if I'm putting out interesting things, if I'm putting out things that make people think, oh, something cool is happening with POPxo, it makes my chances of raising money easier. So whenever I'm getting close to fundraising, suddenly I'll start a whole flurry of activity on social media, and I have PR as well. Because it just kind of tells investors this is kind of a cool company to be with. Even if they have FOMO as well. If they think it's a cool company and they're not with it, then they feel that they're missing out on something. So the whole point becomes how can I use social media to create FOMO about a certain thing. And you guys, all of us can do it. It's not something that's only limited to me. It doesn't need any resources. You just have to kind of have a strategy. People ask me about how do I become an influencer. Who wants to be an influencer? Who's not? But there are very few people, only over 1,000. I can talk to you about being an influencer. Do you care about that? Yeah? Yes? Okay. Really simple. Consistency. And that's a key to everything in life, by the way. You just have to be consistent. How do I lose weight? Just be consistent about exercising and eating well. How do I do well and call it consistent about studying and doing whatever that you have to do, assignments and things like that. So even in social media, being consistent is key. What does that mean? I decide that I'm going to post one photo every day on Instagram, right? Then I have to do it every day. It's not like how Josh made for the first 7 days I do it and then I forget about it. Your followers are not getting any story about you. Second is theme. What is my Instagram about? You decide. And then you follow it perfectly. Anyone who cares about what your Instagram is about will follow you. Instagram, if you're talking about, it's using the right hashtags. And hashtags, I mean, of course, it's not about saying hashtag I, hashtag am, hashtag going, hashtag something. It's a terrible idea. Do not do that. That is the right. But you can use hashtags intelligently. What do hashtags do? They collect information of a certain type and then group it together. You know, if you go and look for hashtag POPxo on Instagram right now, it will be a collection of people who tag POPxo, and I look at it all the time to see how is a certain thing doing. So if you the hashtag, whatever this is, and you have to find the popular hashtag for whatever you're interested in, and use those intelligently, right? Second thing is good quality photos. I cannot emphasize how important that is. And especially if you're female, and if you want to use Instagram, you guys know it. I don't need to tell you that. It's like really, really easy. Like it's very easy for a girl to get to 1,000 followers if she uses it intelligently than this one. Boys, of course, you guys haven't had it easy for a while, so. Okay, so Saki tells me that the aim is likes. If you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, they are right here. Of course, I'm not using. Okay, sorry. Out. Go on. Sorry, it's an Android. Okay, so this is what the app looks like. Yeah, and then there's something here called next to all is called Ask Me Anything. So you can literally type it, and I either they tell you I can either look at it now, answer it, or I will definitely go back home and answer that. Last time I did this, we had 500 questions in an hour, and it was my pleasure of having to answer 500 questions. But I will do that. So again, this is my way of kind of extending my own brand right now, right? And so when I have 500 people asking questions, then I assume that my brand is getting somewhere. You guys can entirely use social media to your advantage to do that. Coming to Facebook, Facebook is extremely important, and people don't. How many of you share your friends' photos or your own photos on Facebook for your friends anymore? Do any of you do that? Like when you post somewhere, do you put a photo on Facebook? No. Where do you put it? Instagram. So what is Facebook then? What else? Done. What else? Thank you for that. Who else?
Morning watch house for the aunties. A morning watch house for the neighbor auntie. I'm saying a watch house, a security measure for the neighbor.
Aunties, but you guys don't do anything on Facebook. Yeah, they can do. What else you do on Facebook? I'm missing the most important thing actually. Huh? Yes, content. Facebook is a house for publishers and a house for us to drive engagement on a topic that we want you to care about. So if I want you to care about tag and that's what you guys will do. How can you use Facebook intelligently? It's by building a thesis around how you think. You know, there are certain people whose Facebook feeds I enjoy because they have a point of view and they share lots of great content on what they think. And then that tells me that this person is deeply engaged with a particular topic. And you guys should be using it in the same way. It's a way of curating what you're reading, what you're thinking, and putting it out to the world. If I see, say, Saket, who's leading product process, suddenly if I see his Facebook page coming with lots of interesting product stories, I know this guy is reading around the topic that he's supposed to be caring about. And I have 120 people who work for me, and I'm friends with them on Facebook, and I know what they're reading, doing, watching. Just imagine the number of times, Priyanka, I'm not feeling well, I'm not coming to office today, and I know the night before they're not drinking. It happens all the time. So, I mean, of course, you can't stop that, and that's fine, it's allowed as well, they're taking a leave that they are allowed to take. But then, remember, everyone is watching everything. Facebook is where you can curate your mind for the world. Medium is a great way of doing that. I'm sure you guys are not on Medium yet. Again, if you are interested in reading or debating, Medium does that as well. But Facebook allows you to present it out, right? What about, when you wake up in the morning, which is the app, what do you do first thing? Okay, WhatsApp, how many WhatsApps? You guys might want to turn on to the sound. Again, Sriransh is there, he's ahead of growth. How many WhatsApps? And then, what else right here? Snapchat, huge. Who does Snapchat first thing in the morning? No, first thing in the morning is the key. First thing in the morning before you do Snapchat. Is it Twitter? First thing in the morning. Wake up, huh? Twitter. Facebook? Okay. Which is no Instagram?